If you want to start your detailing business, but you're stuck on a few things, this is the episode for you. We're going to talk about why you need to get started right now, why that's important, and what you need to avoid. This is the Detailing Business Class Podcast. And welcome to a new podcast. This is the second podcast episode for this week. My goal was to get 2 out because I didn't get any last week. So here we are with the second podcast for the week. And again, if you're watching this on YouTube, I'm now in a different location. I don't know if you can tell because of the framing and everything, but I'm actually now in the so-called media room, which right now I just see a bunch of bags on the floor, an unbuilt couch, and an AC unit that's halfway open because I have to open it to turn it on from the one button that's there. Because it's like some super cheap knockoff that it was already here when we got the location, so we're just using it. So I do want to. I think I'm gonna paint the walls like black or a dark color behind me. Right now it's like some eggshell kind of ugly color. Like the other walls are like brown. It's a really ugly color. So I do want to paint right now these walls right here, so I can actually zoom out a bit. The reason why I'm so close to myself is because I don't want you guys to see the walls next to me because they're pretty ugly. Anyways, glad to have you here on another episode. I want to talk to you about more fundamental things, especially for those that want to get started or are in the beginning phases of their business or want to offer like a new service or go into like a new territory, so to speak, or offer just a new something to in your business, about how things are never the same. As far as like where you are right now is not where you're going to be in 3 months, in 9 months, in 2 years and 5 years. So this was more so before those that really want to get started and are nervous, are kind of held back by, by the thoughts of like, well, I don't have this ready and I don't have that ready and this and this is that. And, I kind of want to explain to you that if you are just reluctant to start or, you think that, well, all these competitors are so much bigger and they have all these customers already and they have a shop and they have a van and they have employees, like how can I compete against that? I kind of want to clarify with you that everyone started from step one. Everyone started with, for the most part, nothing, right? I don't know of any detailers that started with any huge financial investment, right? And I don't mean like $10,000 to $15,000, $20,000, right? Maybe like, I don't know any detailer that started off with $50,000, with $100,000, with $500,000, right? In funding. I don't know any. So if you're looking at a detailer and they have this big facility and this big shop for employees and teams, like, well, if you look back far enough, you're probably going to see a, small little van with one person working on one vehicle that's not glamorous, because you can look back on anyone's timeline, right? You can look back and I really want to preface this, or not preface, but I really want to make sure that's like, this is across the board with anything that you do in life, right? You can go back to my YouTube videos, right? I started videos on December of 2015, I believe. And if you go back to my first 100 videos, let's say my first 20 videos, actually, they're pretty cringe. And a quick interruption to let you know that this Saturday, the 30th, I will be opening up enrollment into my online marketing course, SEO for Detailers. This course teaches you how to rank your website on the first page of Google in your local area for targeted keywords. So let's say that you're in Austin and you offer paint correction services, then you could rank for Austin paint correction in your area. And when people go into Google and type in Austin paint correction, your website can come up on the first page of Google. That's this Saturday, the 30th. You can check the link down below to sign up on the waiting list. Let's get back to the episode. The quality is bad. The audio is bad. My manners, my charisma on screen is bad. The way I make the videos are bad. Like it's cringe, but there is no me right now without the cringe old Oscar back then, and it's just like video after video, month after month, year after year, you just get 1% better, right? You just make a little adjustment every single video, every single time in order to, over the long run, right, over 3 years, make a huge improvement, right? So if I look at it video by video, right, if I go from the first video to the second video to the third, fourth, fifth, sixth, you don't see much progress, right? It looks about the same video, same audio, same location, same lighting. But if you zoom out on the timeline and you look at the first video versus the 200th video and the 200th video to the 400th video, now you're saying, whoa, there's a huge difference here. And the only reason it's a difference is because of the minimal differences or the minimal progress that I made on every video, but zoomed out on the timeline after 200, 400, 600 videos. Now you're like, whoa, now that's a big night and day difference. So for you, if you're like, well, I'm barely starting and I barely know how to wash a car, or I barely have these tools and products. It's like, yeah, right now you do. But as you get started, as you make more investments, as you make more money, compounded over years, you'll be like, whoa, I have a bunch of tools and products now. Whoa, I'm actually making money. Whoa, I can actually go and quit my job. Oh, I can actually go and, but that doesn't start if you have the mindset of like, well, this is where I am right now. That sucks. It's like, yeah, everyone is going to be from that start. Everyone has their starting point, right? Your starting point is going to look very much different than mine, which will look very, different from literally anyone else that you see on Instagram or YouTube. Like, no one's going to be the same, but it's the same process as far as like where you are right now is not going to be where you're going to be in 6 months, 12 months, 18 months, 4 years, right? That's the way it works. And if you have that mindset of like, okay, as much as I am going to work hard right now and work as fast as I can, I know that I still need to have the patience in order to see this over the next 3 years, right? Because when you start your business, you want to be like, oh yeah, let's go. Like, I want to get customers now. I want to make money now. I want to make progress now. Like now, which is great because you want to get that momentum going. You want to get that traction. But at the same time, though, you have to say, okay, as fast as I want to move, I do know that I'm looking at this 3 years down the line, right? Like you can't expect major changes right now, but you're working as fast and as hard as you can right now in order to see those changes. It's quite a bit of a little balance that you have to have in your head, because like on a daily basis, right here, right on a daily basis, and you can look back, years now, but like exactly right now. I'm trying to work as hard as I can, as fast as I can to get things going, to get the shop going, to be more consistent on YouTube, to be more consistent on Instagram, between Detail Groove and Proper Care, to, just get better content, get better equipment. Like I'm trying to get all that now, right? It's like every day it's like, okay, let's work another 10, 12 hours. Let's shoot content, let's edit content, let's publish content, let's go do this, let's go do that. But in my head, I'm like, I know this is setting me up for a year down the road, not right now. And yes, I'm doing everything for right now. We're making money right now. We're doing things right now, but the plan is being executed to be where I want to be in a year from now, right? And it'll literally be like that in every phase of your business, right? Whatever you're doing right now is not for right now. Yes, you're obviously doing it right now, but as far as when you're going to actually reap those benefits and when you're going to see your actual vision come to fruition is usually down the road, right? So it's like, yeah, like right now when, we move something over here, we're going to do that over here. It's like, yes, it's happening. We're moving, progress is being made. But the real impact that doesn't show until like months or even years down the line, and it's like it's all and I hate to say the cliche phrase, or it's don't get stuck on the destination, but it's more the journey, and not so much that like I don't over romanticize the journey part of it, things, right? Like I don't really dive too deep into that mindset, like the journey, but I do like if there's one thing that I always like to do, like the thing that I focus on is to always make progress. Like that's something that is the main thing that I want to see every day. Like I want to make sure that we're moving in the right direction. That doesn't mean that we have to take big old leaps every single time, or that we're going to hit, this new revenue milestone every month, or that, I'm going to get this new milestone of views every month. No, but it's like if we're moving in the right direction, right, on a monthly basis, on a consistent basis, then I know we're gonna go and we're gonna end up where we want to be, right? And if you're like, if you're just thinking about starting your business and you have a full-time job, part-time job, and maybe most likely than not, you probably don't like your job, just because that's like most people don't like their job that they're at right now, or maybe they don't like the management at their job or the position that they're in. Something you're not gonna like about your job. You're saying, well, I want to quit right now, but it's gonna take so much time and this and this. It's like no one is ever going to get anywhere if they just don't take those first few steps to get started, And it sounds cliche. It's like, oh yeah, I've heard that before. It's like, yeah, because it's the most fundamental core of what you need to do in order to get started and get moving. It's take those first few steps, right? You don't need to overcomplicate how you start. Prioritize starting, So it's like, oh, well, am I supposed to go get this insurance? And do I go get a van? And do I go get, these tools and products? Do I get my website up? Do I get a business card? It's like, go make $20 right now. I don't care what tools and products you have. I don't care the skill level that you have. Go wash a car for $20. Just go do that, right? Because that little task in itself, that little thing that you do of washing someone's car for $20, and that's just an example, right? The thing is like go out and detail a car to make money. Once you do that, that changes a lot of things, and that's why I'm a big. I encourage you a lot. It's like go get small wins when you first get started. Like go and make your first $300 in the next month. Go make $1,000 in the next 60 days. Go make $5,000 in the next 90 days. Because getting those small wins, getting that momentum going, building that traction is what kind of sets the fire. Like, oh, so I can do this. Like I thought I needed like these things over here and that over there and this over there, and I just made $200. Like that's crazy on the side. Like that means I can go and I don't know, go buy a polisher now, or go and do this, or go do like that. That's all. Like that's why I'm a huge advocator of like, look, when you want to get started, just go make money right now. Like go get those small wins underneath your belt. And even like from your first customer that you charge $20 for to your 10th customer that you charge $20 for, it's going to be a big difference, right? Like those 10 customers in itself right there will teach you a lot of things, right? And you'll always learn a lot more by actually going and doing versus trying to see who does what when it comes to that part of the business, right? So if you're saying, well, how do you accept customer how do you accept payment from a customer? So you're gonna go on YouTube and watch people like how do they accept a deposit? Do they get do they accept cash or card? Is it do you accept it at the beginning? Do you send an invoice? Do they have to pay at the end? And you try to figure out all these details. Okay, so when do I and how do I do it and what I do this? But if you're just like what, I'm gonna go make $20 right now, you'll figure out everything on your own, right? I'm not saying the right way, or I'm not saying the most optimal way. I'm just saying you'll get a much better sense of what you need to do or how to do things, or you get better clarification once you go out and actually take action on that. And I always, in my head at least, I always go back to this one example of when, like, because I went at fault at this too, or I made the mistake, I should say, when it goes to like quoting your first, like let's say large SUV, right? Because this happened to me where it's a large SUV and they're wanting some paint correction, right? And that was my first time quoting an SUV. So at the time, I wasn't really sure of like what the most accurate pricing was for all these different sizes of vehicles and such. So I remember I gave the quote out because like I don't really have like at the time YouTube wasn't YouTube of detailed, right? Like it wasn't as prominent as it is now. So I remember I quoted the SUV like $300 or something, like something stupidly cheap. I think I spent like 16 hours on that SUV. Granted, I was still in the beginning phases, so it's not like I had the most experience on paint correction, polishing. I didn't have many details of like that yet, so it's not like I had like a process down. So there's a lot of factors on why it took so long, but I also charged very, very cheaply. But from that day, I was like, okay, any large vehicle, you charge more, right? Like whatever you think it's going to take, probably charge more. And from that one instant, that one day, I was like, okay, yeah, don't undercharge, or at least charge a lot more for bigger vehicles. And that's how, like, that's literally the fundamental way you're going to learn all these different things in your business. I just clicked the camera. This is like how you're going to learn all these fundamental things of like by going, doing it, seeing if it worked or didn't work. And if it didn't work, you're like, what could I have done to change that? Right? And then just, again, compounding time after time, month after month, year after year, you improve. And it's as simple as that. It's like, you guys see me on the, like, same thing with this podcast. Like, where did this podcast go? Go listen to my first podcast if you haven't listened to it. The audio is not as good as here. I stumble a bit more. My breathing is not as like, just go listen to the first podcast episode. You'll see the difference. Like, you'll hear the difference between the first podcast episode and this podcast episode, right? Like, with anything that I've done on Instagram, like go look at the first reel that I posted versus like the last 5 reels that I posted. Like it's a different type of content simply due to the confidence and the like comfortability that you form with whatever you're doing, right? So go back to my YouTube videos, watch the first 5 versus the last 5. Go to my Instagram, go to the reels, look at the first 5 versus the last 5. Go look at my, go listen to the first 2 podcast episodes versus the last 2 podcast episodes. And literally just like across the board, you can look at that and it's a, the YouTube is like 7 years apart. The reels is like a year apart. The podcast is like maybe like 8 months apart. And you'll see a vast difference because it takes time to learn things. It takes time to improve. It takes time to, get better at things. Even if you have even if I would have started my YouTube channel back in 2015 with a, $2,000 camera and a, $1,000 lighting setup, I would still get better from there, right? Like it doesn't change the fact that you're still going to improve over time, regardless of what your starting point is. So even if you're starting your business with, $15,000 and you're getting whatever tools and products you want, and you have a van, it's like, even with that starting point, which is a better starting point than most, you're still going to make incremental progress day after day, month after month. And after, 6 months, 2 years, 4 years, it's a huge difference between where you started and where you are now. Like, so like the concept of like, well, it's because, I don't have a van. It's like, okay, well, if you had a van or not, you're not going to be in the same spot six months from now, And again, everyone's starting, like, please do not try to like compare yourself or judge yourself off of what you see from others, right? Like, you don't know their backstory, you don't know where they're coming from, you don't know the resources, you don't know anything about their life other than the one thing that they posted on social media. So if you're like, well, it's because that person was able to start with this and they quickly were able to get that, it's like, the only person you're supposed to worry about is yourself, right? It's your business, so you gotta mind your own business, right? You gotta focus on yourself, stay in your lane. Not that you can't go and get inspiration or motivation or obviously ask for help from other detailers, but this is your thing, this is your race, this is your life, and anything else that anyone does, good or bad, has no effect on you, right? And don't just go and play copycat and you're like, well, okay, that person is posting those types of videos and it's working, so I should do that. It's like, I mean, sure, you can go ahead and copy and see if that works, but at the end of the day, you have to figure out what's going to work out for your business, what's going to work out for what's going to help you achieve your goals, right? Because if you wanted to copy, someone that's being successful, you don't think like the world would have done that by now, right? If one person is successful with this one thing, there's a reason why like not everyone is successful, because it doesn't work that way, right? Like one person does it this way, 10 other people try to copy it. No one else makes it that way because it worked for that person in that manner, and you have to figure out your own way to make it work. So if you don't have, if someone's starting with $15,000 and you have 500, yeah, there's a difference. You have to figure it out either way, but there's a difference, right? Yeah, 100%. There's a difference between starting off with 15,000 and starting off with 500. But does the person with $15,000, does that get them closer to success than you? Does that put the odds in their favor that they'll make more money than you? It doesn't actually. No, it doesn't at all. Just because you have more money or more resources doesn't equate to more success or faster success than the person that doesn't have as much, right? Because again, like it's just, there's so many factors there's so many other factors other than, well, he had more money than me or that he had a van, right? Like there's many, many, many other factors other than these things, right? And some of that, it's like a lot of the things that will determine like how far you can go or what you can do is not money based, right? I mean, what if the person that has the $15,000, they simply aren't as motivated or committed to what they're doing versus the person that has the $500 that's heavily committed, that is passionate about doing this, that lives, breathes, drinks, everything, business related, that wants to quit their job, that's motivated and fueled to live a better life. Who's going to have the better chances of getting success, And I say that in quotations because success is, whatever that means to you, right? So it's like, yeah, like wherever you are right now, if you want to start your business, start it. Because at what other point would you? Until you get to 15,000? Well, guess what? Once you get that, guess what's going to happen? You'll find something else of an excuse on why you can't get started, right? Okay, let me save up to get $15,000. Okay, you saved up. Now what? Well, let me go get a van now. Okay, go get the van now. Well, let me go get my logo and branding and website. Okay, go get that now. Well, let me make sure I have my insurance and everything that I need. Okay, go get that now. Well, let me go get trained because I want to make sure I'm good enough for the customers. Okay, go do that. Well, you're always going to find something else. And at that point, they're excuses, right? Like if you want to get started, if you want to make money, if you want to start your detailing business, if you want to do anything, like do that this weekend. Like literally, if today's Thursday, go start Friday or Saturday. If today's Friday, start today. If today's Saturday, start today. Like this weekend, whatever this weekend, just go ahead and start, right? Like remove all the whatever other things you think you have to get, or you're waiting for this and waiting for that, and you want this to clear, and you just need to get this last thing. Forget about that, right? What's most important is you get that traction going right now, so that you get those small wins underneath your belt to get more momentum. Because like even here when I was thinking about the shop, because like I actually had I didn't have everything where I wanted it. Like for instance, this podcast room. I kept it in my office because I was gonna paint these walls first, right? So I was like, no, before I move all the stuff there, let me let me paint the walls first. Let me get some decorations to, or not decorations, but like some like posters and such to make the background a little nicer. So I kept this podcast setup in my office. And same thing with like the warehouse space. I was like, well, I really want to paint it. So like, should I go get the air hose reel and the electrical reel, and should I start setting up? But I want to paint the walls first. And what I came to realize is like my priority right now with the shop is to get things going so I can create more content, create more opportunities, and make more money. Like that is the primary focus of getting the shop right now. And like it's like I need to start seeing an ROI on it now. So I shouldn't be like, I shouldn't wait for that to happen. So once I had that realization, I'm like, no, my priority right now is just to get things going, get the shop up and running, so I can get to what I need to actually be doing. Like so I can get to the core reason of why I got the shop. I need to get that going first. The walls, the painting, the like that can actually wait because I have to get the actual core of what I wanted this for. I need to get this running up and running now, so I can actually start building the momentum and start getting back on track. So that's why I moved the podcast room back here because I was like, you know what? No, I need to set this up. Like I need to start cranking out podcasts now. Oh, I just clicked the camera again. Let me actually just move it right there. There you go. I was like, no, I'm gonna move the podcast setup right here because I need to start making it work now. And it's like whenever I paint the walls, I'll I'll work around it then. But right now, I need to get things going. And same thing with the warehouse. I was like, oh, do I paint the walls? Do I get this? And I was like, no, you know what? Forget all that. Like I started ordering everything. I was like, I need to start getting this thing going up and running now. And I say that because it's like, yeah, with you, when it comes to your business, it's like, when you start your business, it's like, yeah, go make money now. Like you can do a bunch of things like, oh yeah, well, let me go get my website and let me get some t-shirts and let me get this pricing list and let me do this and let me do that. It's like, no, go out and make money. That's your priority right now. Go out and make money. Like go get those small wins. Go and actually make money from servicing customers' vehicles. Like, yes, the website is important, the shirts, the branding. Yeah, like there's a place for all of that. But right now, your primary focus is get your business started and go make money. Right? Everything else is a distraction. Get your business, go get customers, and make money. That's your primary focus right now. Because you can always wait and go get a few more things before you get started. But that's too easy. That's the easy way out. Go make money with what you have right now. That simple. So hopefully you took something away from this episode. I'll wrap it up right here. On this Saturday, actually, which is in a few days, I'm opening up enrollment into SEO for Detailers, my online marketing course to help you rank your website on the first page of Google. That'll help you generate a consistent flow of qualified traffic, leads, and sales. So right now, like our main driving factor right now for our customers is SEO as well. It's been SEO since back in 2015 when I first started working on it. So yeah, so anyways, this Saturday, I'll open up enrollment. It'll be open for limited days. It's an online course. So if you're interested, you can check the first link down below in the show notes, or if you're watching this on YouTube, in the description to check out that link. Other than that, thank you very much for stopping by for another podcast episode. I truly do appreciate you being here. Thank you very much, and I'll talk to you on the next one. Bye-bye.